Throughout the history of the world, great teachers have inspired, persuaded, and motivated students. The goal of the St. Lucie Public School Teacher of the Year program is to recognize and celebrate the wealth of excellent teachers that exists across our district. All of us recall a certain teacher, a very special someone who inspired us to learn. All of us have sat in the classroom of many great teachers. Regardless of their fields of studies, they are all visionaries who led by example, shared wisdom, advocated for students, inspired others to join the profession, and whose action transformed lives. The St. Lucie Public School Teacher of the Year program began some 43 years ago and is meant to be one that celebrates and honors inspiring teachers and recognizes the importance of teaching. Every day, we, along with 100 million parents, entrust our children with teachers. They instruct, guide, coach, and inspire them to fulfill their greatest potential. This program presents some extraordinary men and women whose timeless wisdom echoes the integrity, strength, character, and passion of educators all across our district and our nation. This program is a tribute to and for teachers and celebrates the special and often heroic role they play in the lives of students. This program is, in our small way, an opportunity to say thank you to those who educate, encourage, empower, and inspire the students of our world. Our robust program is designed to bring national attention to the importance of excellence in teaching and celebrate the talents and commitment of these extraordinary teachers. Let's meet some of them now.
My name is Bobby Ingram Jr., the Director of Bands of Treasure Coast High School. Music is the universal language, so it contributes to St. Lucie Public Schools because that is some kids' only outlet. Music is a lot of these kids' family. I don't teach a class, I teach life. We learn community in this art. We learn love in this art. We learn the value of family in this art. We learn spirit, unity, discipline, attitude in this art. So that's why it's important. The kids come to school, they come from different environments, so when they come here, they need a place that's structured, a place that is energetic, a place where they can be themselves. So it's super important for me to show up to make sure that they have that atmosphere and they have that place where they can just genuinely be themselves. Sometimes the hardship of home bears the kids down, so it's just really just keeping them encouraged to keep going. My favorite part of the day, honestly, is seeing the kids. Seeing the kids and working with the kids and getting into a piece of music and mastering just a section of music and putting it all together. But even beyond all that is getting to know each and every individual that I'm able to work with. I am Bobby Ingram Jr., and I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
We're so excited to welcome to the show at this time the awesome Teacher of the Year for Manatee K-8 School, Miss Jamie Felix, to our show. She's brought along with her that awesome principal, Carrie Waller-Kevis. Ladies, welcome to the Teacher of the Year celebration show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. We are so excited to have you and to share with our viewing audience all of the wonderful Teachers of the Year. But first of all, tell me, what do you make about being chosen the Teacher of the Year for Manatee K-8? How does it feel?
It feels wonderful, fantastic. It's a real honor to be nominated for Teacher of the Year because it's a difficult job with a lot of struggles, but to be recognized for all of that, it feels really great. I feel special. Give
our viewing audience just a little bit about your background.
I moved here 9 years ago, and I've been a teacher in Florida for 9 years. I graduated from Western Michigan University, and I graduated with a degree in actually geography with a minor in math, and then I went back to school to get my teaching degree from Western. And so I taught at a community college for a while in Michigan, and the bulk of my time in Michigan was I was a crime analyst at at Battle Creek Police Department. And then when I moved here, I put my teaching degree into practice, and I've been teaching here since I moved here.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher, or was there someone that influenced that decision as you kind of made a transition into teaching?
I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. My best friend growing up, her dad was a custodian at the school, and so at his house he'd have like old desks and books and, you know, school stuff in the basement. And so every day after school we would come to her house and we would play school, and I'd be the teacher or she'd be the student, and it's just something that I've always loved and appreciated, and I've always known since a young age that's what I wanted to do.
What do you think makes you a good teacher?
I think what makes me a good teacher is the relationships that I build with my students. I love each and every one of them. And if the relationships that I build, when they know that you care about them and you respect them, they give you that in return. And they'll almost go to war for you when they take that test at the end of the year, or they want to be in your class and they want to pay attention because you're giving them respect and you're building those relationships with them, and they'll work for you. And I honestly believe that building relationships with students is what makes me the teacher that I am.
Awesome. We better get your wonderful principal into this conversation. Ms. Wallachevitz, again, welcome. Would you briefly introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Carrie Wallachevitz. I'm currently the principal at Manatees, my 29th year in education, all in St. Lucie Public Schools, and I feel so blessed to be part of our beautiful community.
I know we're celebrating Miss Felix, but if you don't tell it, I'm going to have to. I was a regional finalist for Teacher of the Year for the state of Florida,
and I was Florida Teacher of the Year in 2005.
Yes, we're excited about that because you're working with these dynamic teachers and you also understand what it's like to be in the role that Miss Felix is in at this time as an ambassador for your school. Tell us, what activities do you see Miss Felix involved in on your campus that just makes the campus work?
Truly everything, because even if she can't physically be there, like, how can I help? What can I do to prepare? So whether it's a committee or whether it's an event we're having for families, she truly just wants to be part, because as she said, you know, it is all about children, something she's always wanted to do, and she definitely brings that outside of the classroom. It's not just, you know, what she does that's magical in the classroom, but it's everything on campus.
When you visit Ms. Felix's class, what is it that you see? How does it make you feel?
She is masterful, and I don't have a better word than that, because if I did, I would use that. One of the things that I think is most exciting about being in her classroom is the opportunity that children have to truly have conversations. They talk to one another about not just math, but like how they solved it and strategies they used. And where she truly shines is she'll listen to the conversations they'll have, and everybody in the classroom, but maybe one or two kids, can have the problem wrong. And so she'll have them say, like, okay, what's your answer? How did you get that? And finally she'll get and call on one that got it right. And all the kids you'll hear go, oh, I forgot that part. I wish I couldn't, I knew that I should have done that too. And so they're really like fixing up their own thinking rather than the teacher saying, wow, oh, you did this wrong, or just put an X on something. It's magical.
So Ms. Felix, thinking about the time that you grew up, we watched a lot of TV. Do you think that there's a TV show, a poem, a book that kind of influenced you to be the person that you are now?
There was a book that I read when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and it was called She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. And it was a book about a girl who had to go through so many struggles, and through hard work and perseverance, she set out to be a successful adult. And I really believe in perseverance and hard work. In my classroom, I have high expectations of my students, and I make them work, and I make them think, and I make them go through the struggle, because at the end of the day, it's going to make them be a better student, but also a better person.
Ms. Wallachevitz, give us 3 adjectives that describe the awesome Jamie Felix.
Passionate. That is definitely first and foremost. Determined. She is so determined for all of her kids to be successful. And I think you've heard over and over again, she's just an advocate for all, which is why she's so involved in our school community. And I just have to share, I know that we're on a time constraint, but when we announced her as Teacher of the Year, the middle school's in pods, not only did the teachers come to the door, the kids came out of their rooms to congratulate her and to go and see her. Again, you just feel the love and the relationships that she builds with kids.
Cool. So let's get a little personal and play a speed round, okay? I'll give a favorite, you give a reply. Favorite food?
Ravioli.
Restaurant?
Tutti fresco.
Really? Favorite movie?
The Devil Wears Prada.
Ooh. That's a good one. I've seen it many times. Yep. Favorite sports team?
Oh, University of Michigan.
Favorite song?
Babylon by David Gray.
And do you have a favorite quote or motivational saying?
Yes. Hard work beats talent when the talent doesn't work hard.
Hard work. Oh, awesome, awesome. Ms. Wallachevitz, what makes Ms. Felix the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Again, haven't been in that position. I think that her just ability to incorporate all and really want everybody to be successful, and not just in the classroom. You see that she brought a prop with her, but it's school-based, it's community, it's what she lives. I mean, she truly sleeps, eats, and breathes teaching, whether it's in the classroom, on the basketball court, or wherever she happens to be. It's just who she is.
So, Ms. Felix, you brought your prop. Ms. Wallachevitz alluded to that. Tell us about your prop.
Okay, so my prop is a basketball, and it represents sports. And not only am I a teacher, but I'm also a mother, and I volunteer coach for the city of Port St. Lucie. And I think that teaching and sports and athletics have the same principles and values. And coaching for me builds teamwork, and that builds confidence for the kids that I coach, and perseverance and leadership abilities, and all of that transfers into my classroom as well. And if my students or my children, because my children play sports too, or the kids that I coach, if they can bring those attributes into their everyday lives, I really believe that they'll grow up to be successful human beings.
Teamwork, confidence, perseverance, leadership, it all plays in the classroom or on the court. I think Ms. Wallachevitz said that you were passionate, determined, and that you're an advocate. It shows even on the basketball court that you're advocating for the best for those students. We want to take this time to tell both of you thank you for sharing with us and our viewing audience about the wonderful Jamie Felix, who's the Teacher of the Year for Manatee K-8. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. So some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales y yo soy St. Lucie Public Schools.
We're excited to welcome to our show at this time Mr. Ahmad Hussein, who is the wonderful Teacher of the Year over at Bayshore Elementary School, and he's brought with him the fantastic principal there, Ms. Siobhan Silas. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We are excited to celebrate you and to share your accomplishments with our viewing audience. So give us a little bit about your background, Mr. Hussein.
Well, my name is Ahmad Hussein. This is my 12th year in education, 11th year with St. Lucie Schools. I completed 3 years at Southport Middle School as a 6th grade math teacher. I was also a math teacher at Northport K-8 School for 7 years, as well as a math coach for the majority of the time there. And this year is my first year transitioning to the discipline realm as a behavior specialist at Bayshore Elementary. So my education background is I have a degree in elementary education from Florida International University, as well as a master's in educational leadership from the American College of Education.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Silas, would you introduce yourself as well?
Yes, well, I am Siobhan Silas. I am the proud principal of Bayshore Elementary. This is my 19th year with St. Lucie County Schools. I have had the pleasure of serving in many, many different capacities, teacher, coach, assistant principal, and now principal at the wonderful school, Bayshore Elementary.
As I stated, we're excited to have both of you join us as we celebrate Teaching and Teachers of the Year. But how does it feel, and what do you make of being chosen to be the Teacher of the Year for Bayshore Elementary?
Oh, it feels absolutely remarkable. In fact, it's my first year at Bayshore, so to be recognized as a Teacher of the Year within 6 months of working there, there's no higher praise for that. So I'm extremely grateful, and I'm happy to be where I'm at.
So tell us, you've been in 12 years now.
Yes,
when
sir.
did you first fall in love with teaching?
I would say I first fell in love with teaching my first year as a 6th grade math teacher. At the conclusion of the year, I had a specific student, and a side note about this student, he was autistic. So he had a hard time expressing his emotions. But the last day of school, he came up to me and told me how much he learned from my class and how much he enjoyed from having me as his teacher. And it's moments like that why I continue to do what I'm doing. So that's the moment where I was very happy to be a teacher.
What do you think is the greatest challenge facing education today?
Well, prior to this position, I was a math coach, and being in that side of education, I got to witness the teacher retention being a big issue. You know, the teacher turnover rate is extremely high, especially in the state of Florida. So I would say the biggest challenge we have in education is holding on to quality educators.
So, Ms. Silas, you have the opportunity to see him work in your school every day. What is it that you see, hear, and or feel when you see Ms. Hussein working with students?
Well, first and foremost, Hussein is very compassionate. Like you can see, he's very soft-spoken. So the very first thing I see him doing is building positive relationships with students. Even during our interview, we talked about different things that students go through and the behavior challenges and just challenges, you know, that students come to school with every day. So building relationships is the first thing that he does. He's also very proactive. So if he sees a need, he acts right away. You don't have to, you know, remind him or, you know, let him know what he needs to do. He acts right away with students. If they're going through something, if he sees that they, you know, have a face, he goes and he asks, hi, you know, how are you doing? What's going on? How was your weekend? Like, just so, you know, and that's not something that you can teach. That's something that's in you.
So each and every day you see him working. Why do you think he's the perfect candidate for this honor?
Well, why is he the perfect candidate for this honor? Like I said before, he's a doer. Mr. Hussein has, in 6 months, 7 months, he has created 2 different mentoring programs for our students at Bayshore. One, a behavioral mentoring program, and the other is for male, and he can go into further detail, for males to support our male students, because that's where we see you know, the majority of our disciplinary actions coming from. So he, like I said, he acts. He's a doer. He sees something and he acts right away.
So, Mr. Hussein, have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher? And is there someone that influences you as you are a teacher that you may pattern yourself after?
I did not always know I wanted to be a teacher. In fact, after high school, I went to college, took my prerequisite classes, but did not know what I wanted to major in. So I joined the fitness industry as a personal trainer, and as a personal trainer, I learned that I really enjoy helping people overcome obstacles. So that's when I decided to major in education. And as far as patterning my career over somebody, I would say my mother, actually. My mother was a math teacher herself, and from a young age, my mother taught me resiliency. I originally grew up in Palestine, the West Bank to be exact, and you know, there's a lot of violence happening there. And my mother, she stayed calm, she stayed collected in the face of danger, which taught me and my siblings resiliency. So I would say my mother is someone who's very influential to me.
So let's play a speed round, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll give a favorite, you give a response. Favorite food?
Mexican food.
Favorite restaurant?
Casa Amigos.
Favorite movie?
Big Fish.
Favorite sports team?
Miami Heat.
The Heat, yeah, the Heat. Favorite song?
How Soon Is Now by the Smiths.
Do you have a favorite quote or motivational saying?
Absolutely. My favorite quote is by Marcus Aurelius, and it's, "Be strict with yourself and tolerant of others."
So, Ms. Silas, is there anything that you want to add about the awesome Mr. Ahmad Hussein?
I would like to add that Ahmad Hussein is someone that exemplifies our Kid at Hope mantra. All children are capable of success. Coming from a diverse background and having the environment that he grew up in, I believe attributes to his empathy and his compassion and just his overall grit and support that he gives students each and every day. He is a very hard worker, and he puts in his all into supporting each and every student because he believes all students are capable of success.
No exceptions.
No exceptions.
So, Mr. Hussein, you brought along a prop with you. Share with us your prop.
So the prop I brought is a book called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I've learned so much quotes and philosophies from this book that when students are sent to me for behavioral issues, I'm able to share some of the knowledge from this book and hopefully get them onto the right path.
Awesome. Thank you both for sharing this time with us. Congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year at Bayshore.
Thank you,
We're
sir.
just so excited about what you bring to that campus and the things that you're doing with and for students. And we thank you both for letting us celebrate you and for you joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
My name is Michael Brown, and welcome to St. Lucie Transportation. We have 325 routes that make up 12,471 bus stops per day. On average, we transport 23,000 students each and every day. We have 25 mechanics responsible for 397 buses in our fleet, and they go in for a 30-point state-required inspection every 28 days. I feel that as a bus driver, my position is a very intricate one in the St. Lucie school system. Without us transporting the majority of the school's populations, our leaders of tomorrow wouldn't have an easy access to their education. I would say the most important aspect of my job is delivering my children to and from school in a safe, timely manner. I want to be a role model for my kids as well. Some of the challenges of my position, being able to drive while maintaining control of my students. I often have upward to 50 to 60 kids, at any given time between routes. I think the most rewarding part is just watching my children grow, into adults. I watch them flourish in life and just knowing that I was a part of it. I'm Michael Brown, and I am St. Lucie Public School.
It's a privilege to welcome to our show at this time the wonderful Miss Victoria Randolph, who is the dynamic Teacher of the Year for Westgate K-8 School. Welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
She's brought along our wonderful friend, Mr. Jason Martin, who's the fantastic principal there. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We are excited to have this opportunity to speak with all of the Teachers of the Years because it gives us an opportunity to celebrate teaching and to celebrate teachers and the wonderful work that they do with students each and every day. So that our viewers will know a little more about you, Ms. Randolph, introduce yourself to them.
Well, I'm a St. Lucie County graduate, so I graduated from Central. I have my bachelor's in ESE. I graduated from IRC, and I have my master's in instructional design. I've been teaching for 10 years now, and I've been at Westgate for 5 of them. Awesome.
Mr. Martin?
This is my 20th year in education. The very fortunate principal of Westgate. Prior to that, I was assistant principal at Fort Pierce Westwood, and prior to that, I was a principal in New York and Connecticut for a number of years.
Awesome, awesome. Again, welcome to the show. So tell me, how does it feel, and what do you make of your selection as the Teacher of the Year for Westgate?
It's very exciting. It's quite an honor.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So when did you first fall in love with teaching?
Well, I am from a product of teachers. My grandmother and my aunt are both educators, and I think just growing up around them and spending the summers with them, it really gave me a sense of what it takes to be a teacher and to make a difference in kids' lives.
So would they be your influence?
Yes, absolutely.
And where did they teach?
My grandmother is she's a retired math teacher in high school. She was, my family's in Texas.
Okay.
So she was a retired math teacher, and then my aunt is still a librarian.
Okay.
There.
Awesome, awesome. So what do you think makes you a good teacher?
The relationships I have with my kids. I think that's the first thing, what you have to put first.
And what would you say is your favorite part of teaching?
Making the learning fun and engaging for the kids.
Tell me, today there's a lot that's happening. What do you think is one of the most pressing issues for education?
Our students' mental health. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes, yes. So, Mr. Martin, you get to see the wonderful Miss Victoria Randolph work every day. What is it that you see, hear, and or feel when you visit the classroom?
Well, she touched upon it, just how comfortable the kids are with her, how easily they respond to her. Many of the kids, even when she's not where they want her to be, they're looking for her. She just has really good relationships with students. In addition to the classroom stuff, there's just so much that goes on outside the classroom that she's involved with. She's the advisor for our student council. And when I'm in those meetings, I can just see how easily the kids are comfortable, how they enjoy her presence. It's really special to see how the kids respond to her.
Ms. Randolph, what do you think is your greatest impact?
I just am passionate about my job, and I think the multi-sensory learning and engaging kids, being the reading interventionist, I work with Tier 3 students, so that struggling reading population, and I think just making the learning fun and engaging multi-sensory, so our struggling learners have many modalities to access the curriculum.
What advice do you give to parents to help them ensure the success of their children?
Anytime I have a meeting with parents, I'm always advocating about multisensory learning and things that they could do at home to help their kids that are fun and engaging games that they can play with them but also learn. For our viewers, and explain this idea of multisensory learning. It's anything tactile, anything touching. I love to do like bumpy sight words where they have to write their sight words on a bumpy board, where they have to manipulate letter tiles on a cookie sheet, anything that you can make them touch and see and do. They can write their letters in shaving cream and sand, anything that's getting more than one sense into engaged into the learning. Correct. So, Mr. Martin, tell us 3 adjectives that describe the wonderful Ms. Randolph.
I would say she's knowledgeable. She is the go-to person for all things literacy and phonics. She's dependable. As she mentioned, she's just totally dedicated to the job, and she's someone that I can always go to, whether it's for little things like helping out with duties or events or stepping in to a classroom, all the way to knowing that she's going to be at work every day and doing the things that she says she's going to do. So she's very dependable and thoughtful. Listen, a K-8 school is very complex, and there's a lot of moving parts, and she understands it deeper than I do. And so oftentimes when I have some crazy ideas, she's very quick to let me know, like, hey, that's not going to work.
That's too crazy.
Yeah, or it will work. And I appreciate, you know, her brutal honesty with that, but she's very thoughtful.
Knowledgeable, dependable, and thoughtful. So we've talked a lot about Victoria Randolph as the teacher. Let's play a speed round to get an idea about the person that she really is. I'll give some favorites and you give a response, okay? Favorite food?
Ooh, seafood.
Oh, seafood. Favorite restaurant?
12A Bowie.
Oh, real seafood, yes. Favorite movie?
Hope Floats.
And favorite sports team?
Well, I'm from Texas, so Houston Astros.
Okay, okay. We'll let you stay in Texas, even though you're in Florida right now. Okay, okay. Favorite song?
Look Up Child by Lauren Daigle.
And favorite quote or motivational saying?
Oh, there's a quote that Tupac that says that it's something like, I know I'm not going to change the world, but I could spark one mind. I know that I can change one person.
Tupac was a great philosopher.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was genius there, genius there. So, Mr. Martin, tell us, what makes Ms. Randolph the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
So her understanding of literacy is just it's masterful, and it definitely is where she is a specialist in the classroom. But for me in the building, how she impacts the whole community, and her involvement, her secondary involvement in pretty much everything that we do, she needs to be highlighted. So again, there's a lot of operational things that go into a school as we go throughout the year, when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to events, just when it comes to all of that kind of stuff, school improvement plans. She's involved with all of that, whether it's she's directly involved with planning those things, or she's involved hearsay with just asking her some questions and some ideas about whether this will or will not work, as we talked about earlier. So her fingerprints are all over the building in many of the things that we do operationally, but also with student achievement. And you know, I couldn't run the school without her.
So we've asked you to bring a prop along that kind of describes you or supports your work as an educator. Would you hold that prop up for our cameras and then tell us about your prop?
So I teach reading intervention all day. So it's a multi-sensory board, so we can manipulate our letter sounds and build words with them. And I use this every day, all day long in my classroom.
Every day, all day long. Well, we are so excited about the opportunity that we have had to celebrate you, to celebrate teaching, to celebrate teachers. We know that you represent the best of the best, and we're just excited at this time. Thank you for coming, Mr. Martin. Thank you, Ms. Randolph.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year for Westgate K-8.
Thank you so much.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving. And this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
We're excited at this time to welcome to our program the dynamic Miss Carla Betts, who's the Teacher of the Year for Chester A. Moore Elementary School, and along with her is the fantastic principal there, Dr. Thelma Jackson. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We are so excited this morning. Number one, this gives us an opportunity to share some of our dynamic teachers with our viewing audience and talk a little bit about them and the work that they're doing with the wonderful students that we work with every day. So, Ms. Betts, give us a little bit about you. Introduce yourself to our viewers.
Good morning. My name is Carla Betts. This is my 24th year teaching. I am a native of Fort Pierce. I graduated from Fort Pierce Central 1991. Then from there, I attended Florida Atlantic University and FAMU and studied in elementary education. Then I furthered my education at Nova Southeastern University and majored in varying exceptionalities and educational leadership.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Jackson, same thing, please.
Good morning. I'm Thelma Jackson. I'm a graduate of the Florida State University and also Nova Southeastern University. I am in my 30th year in public education. I've worked in 2 states, 3 counties in Florida. I've served as a middle school and a high school English teacher in Palm Beach County, and also an assistant principal for 9 years in Palm Beach County in Georgia. And I am in my 10th year as a principal. This is year 3 for me at the Chester A. Moore Elementary, and I am honored to serve one of the finest schools in the district.
Thank you again for joining us. So, Ms. Betts, what do you make about being chosen the Teacher of the Year for Chester A. Moore? How does it feel?
Well, it is an honor. Let me start with that. It is an honor to represent the C.A. Moore as the Teacher of the Year. I'm still in awe, but my students are the reason why I am where I am today. It's because of them, of their success, their eagerness, their readiness to learn, want to do the work, want to share their responses. They look forward to learning something new every day. They want to attack it with confidence. They just love learning, and that makes me proud of them.
So I've heard it twice, so I'm going to make sure for the rest of the show that I say it right. The Chester A. Moore. I got it. I heard you. So, Ms. Betts, when did you first fall in love with teaching?
I've always wanted to be a teacher ever since daycare. I just remember me pretending that I'm the teacher and my dolls were the students. So whatever I learned in school, that's what I would teach my students, my dolls. So that was something I've always wanted to do.
Do you think there was a person that influenced that decision or that nurtured that love for teaching and learning?
There have been several teachers, but one teacher that stands in mind that is Mrs. Jovita Williams, my second grade teacher at Garden City Elementary School. She would make me stay after school and do the work. There were times I didn't want to do the work. I just worked to the bare minimum. I didn't just want to get it done. But she knew, she saw something more than me. And she would make sure that I would stay after school and do the work and do it accurately. So she pushed me to my potential, to my greatest potential. So as a teacher, I wanted to make sure that I do that for my students every day. I see their strengths. I know they can do the work. I make them do the work, but they love to do the work.
So let's tell Jovita thank you right now, Jovita. Yes, we know you're watching somewhere, Ms. Williams, okay?
Yes.
So again, Betts, what's your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching is showing, my students show the eagerness to learn. They are excited about learning. They're excited about doing the work. They're excited about proving their work. They love to challenge each other. They love to share their responses with each other. They also love to share it with me without failure. So they're anxiously waiting to share their responses. I got a response, and they want to prove it. They want to prove this is why, this is the answer. And they will challenge their peers. Well, why is it this answer? Well, how come it's not this answer? So they do that without failure.
So Dr. Jackson, just a few weeks ago, I had the privilege and pleasure of being in Mrs. Betts' dynamic class. It was doing a math lesson, but I know you get to watch it every day. Tell us what it is that you see, hear, and or feel when you visit that classroom.
So from an administrator's point, she is the consummate in terms of mastering our framework for teaching and learning. She hits standards-based instruction. She hits the elements of a classroom. But what you're going to see is mathematical discourse. You're going to see students talking to her and to each other. You're going to see them persisting in solving problems. And as she stated, proving those problems. Math is important, especially for our population, and it's a gateway. So Ms. Betts strives to ensure that they're getting those foundational skills, so eventually they'll be successful in Algebra 1. And again, it's home, it's a beautiful classroom, it looks like a math classroom, and it feels like home. She's lovingly right there with the kids. There's no fear in the classroom, lots of talking, lots of movement, lots of vibrant discussion. And it's just, when you walk into the room, you never want to leave.
I think it's 3rd grade, Ms. Betts?
Yes.
But I heard Dr. Jackson say getting them ready for Algebra 1. Yeah. That forward thinking, elaborate a little bit more about that, Doc.
Yes. So our student population struggled, and we're coming out of turnaround. And I know, because I was a secondary instructor, and one of the things I've said since I've been there is we have the luxury of having students with us for 6 years. So we can really get it right and send them to secondary ready. And when I'm talking about our African American and our Hispanic students and our high poverty students, I want them to be dynamic mathematicians. It's gonna open so many doors for them. So Ms. Betts feeds right into that. She's tenacious, she doesn't take any excuses. You're gonna get this math, and she gets them ready, and she has a proven results.
So describe her for me, Doc. We're using 3 adjectives. Tell me about Ms. Betts. And yes, 3. I know you want more.
Right. that ELA person in me, but I have an acronym. Ms. Betts is an ACE, audacious. She has the crazy belief that students at C.A. Moore, one of the lowest performing schools in the past with the highest poverty rate, that not only that they're gonna pass, that's not good enough for Ms. Betts. She wants them to be the highest achieving 3rd graders in the district and in the state, and she's done that. So each time they take an assessment, say, that's good, but we're gonna get better. So audacious. C, compassionate. Ms. Betts writes no referrals. In 3 years, she has not written 1 referral. She is an administrator's dream. She manages behavior because she loves kids hard. One of the most profound moments that I can recall is she tracks her students. So when they go up to 4th grade, she's following them, and recently she said to a 4th grade teacher, I know that student. This is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to stay on that attendance. You're gonna have to probably go by our house and pick her up, wake her up and pick her up. You're probably gonna have to do that. And then you're gonna have to meet the needs. The family has needs, and you're gonna have to make those connections. So compassionate. And E, she is excellent. She knows the curriculum, she studies the curriculum, she's looking at standards, and she can have that standards-driven instruction. So Ms. Betts is the ace.
Thank you for being the ace.
Thank you.
And I love what Dr. Jackson said. You have the crazy belief and love kids hard. I think we have to love kids hard. Yes. I really do. So what has been one of your proudest professional achievements, Ms. Betts?
Well, my proudest moment is just occurred recently. 71% of my students were proficient on the progress monitoring math in May. So to go from 7% to 71%, that is a great achievement.
Yes.
And it shows our students that working hard does pay off.
Yeah.
We set a goal, and they actually surpassed that goal. So my students actually know if I work extremely hard, I can reach my goal. I can go beyond the goal.
What do you say to parents to make sure that their students are a success?
Make sure you communicate with your kids every day. Ask them what they're learning. Let them show you what they're learning. Pretend that they're the teacher. Let them show you step by step. This is what I'm learning in school. And actually talk to them about their goals. What do they want to become in life? And set those goals and actually put it in their room and let them reach those goals. They can do it.
So we've heard a lot about Carla Betts, the fantastic dynamic 3rd grade math teacher, but let's talk about just who Carla Betts is by playing a speed round.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
Seafood.
And your favorite restaurant?
Ruth Chris.
Did you see how she said that?
Yes.
With her head to the side. And your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Lean on Me.
Oh,
yes.
One of my favorites as well. One of my favorites as well. The dynamic teacher. But I'll stop.
Yes.
Favorite sports team?
Miami Heat.
Oh, the Heat. Yeah. Favorite song?
My favorite song is called Move Forward by Mr. Sneed. His name is Troy Sneed from Perry, Florida.
Yeah, yeah, gospel song.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. See, I'm here. I'm there. Do you have a favorite quote or saying?
My favorite quote is education is the most powerful tool in order for you to change the world. Nelson Mandela.
Awesome,
Right.
awesome. So, Dr. Jackson, what makes Miss Betts the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Again, she gets results. So again, students achieve in her classroom. She's authentic. She has a heart for kids. She cares for kids. And she knows her stuff. She's going to give you 100%, and she's going to be incredibly efficient at her work. She will definitely represent SLP as well. She has a proven record, but she has the heart as well. She's a consummate model teacher.
So, Ms. Betts, you brought along a prop that talks about you as an educator, you as a person. Share that prop with us.
Well, this is a picture of me when I graduated from daycare. So what we had to do is actually show what we want to become when we grow up. So mine is school teacher.
Oh, wow.
I've always. So that is something, like I said, I've always been passionate about teaching, helping students. I love to see them grow. I love when they come in excited about what are we learning today. Ms. Betts, thank you for being the best teacher. Thank you for just giving back as to the point that I love school. I love to see them smile when they come in, regardless of what their background, whatever problems they faced, they are still ready to learn in the classroom.
Hold that prop up for us just for a second, Ms. Betts, so that we can make sure the camera sees you graduating from daycare, wanting to be a teacher. Oh, it's been a pleasure talking with both of you. We are so excited, and to have this opportunity just to celebrate you as a Teacher of the Year for the Chester A. Moore Elementary School, but to celebrate teaching and all the works that our fabulous teachers get to do every day. Dr. Jackson, thank you for coming. Ms. Betts, thank you for coming. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Bobby Ingram Jr., the Director of Bands of Treasure Coast High School. Music is the universal language, so it contributes to St. Lucie Public Schools because that is some kids' only outlet. Music is a lot of these kids' family. I don't teach a class, I teach life. We learn community in this art. We learn love in this art. We learn the value of family in this art. We learn spirit, unity, discipline, attitude in this art. So that's why it's important. The kids come to school, they come from different environments, so when they come here, they need a place that's structured, a place that is energetic, a place where they can be themselves. So it's super important for me to show up to make sure that they have that atmosphere and they have that place where they can just genuinely be themselves. Sometimes the hardship of home bears the kids down, so it's just really just keeping them encouraged to keep going. My favorite part of the day, honestly, is seeing the kids. Seeing the kids and working with the kids and getting into a piece of music and mastering just a section of music and putting it all together. But even beyond all that is getting to know each and every individual that I'm able to work with. I am Bobby Ingram Jr., and I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
It's a pleasure for us to welcome to our show at this time the wonderful Miss Selena Uli, who is the Dynamic Teacher of the Year over at Lawnwood Elementary School, and she's brought along with her the very proud principal there, Felicia Nixon. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, we are always excited at this time because we get to talk to the Teachers of the Year. Now, we know they're fantastic teachers, but they represent other fantastic teachers in our district. Because we're doing this type of show, introduce yourself to our viewers so they'll know a little bit about who the wonderful Selena Uli is.
Okay, my name is Selena Uli. I teach 1st and 2nd grade gifted at Lawnwood Elementary. I have been teaching there 17 years, and I have taught every grade. I truly enjoy going there.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Nixon, same thing, please.
Yes. I'm Felicia Nixon, the principal of Lawnwood Elementary, and Really excited to be here to support and to recognize Longwood's Teacher of the Year, Miss Selena Uli.
So, what do you make of being chosen as a Teacher of the Year to represent Longwood, and how does it feel?
It's a very humbling celebration. I find that being chosen was a shock in itself, because I believe in trying to work in building up all of our teachers as one, and being the one to shine a little bit brighter was extremely humbling, extremely humbling.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher? And if so, or if not, who influences what you do every day?
The major influence in my life to become a teacher was my aunt. She is an educator. She just recently retired this year. I had a traumatic brain injury back when I was in 2nd grade, and she is the one who actually tutored me and brought me back on level, and just seeing her inspired me, and that just makes me want to be that inspiration to other children.
Awesome, awesome. What's your favorite part of teaching every day?
The hugs. The hugs from my 1st and 2nd graders. The children, the curiosity, their questions, their smiles, just their enthusiasm of wanting to learn. That's what makes me go to work every day.
When you think about those 1st and 2nd grade babies that give you hugs every day, what are you most hopeful about for education?
That they will continue to learn, that they will take the little bits and pieces that I teach them as their little 1st and 2nd grade minds, and use those bits and pieces and tackle the challenges of the world throughout the rest of their life, that they make a difference.
So, Ms. Nixon, you are the one that gets to share in the educational experience that is provided by Ms. Uli every day. Tell us about what it is, what you see.
Well, when you visit Ms. Uli's classroom, first of all, it's quite a challenging situation, because she's responsible for 2 grade levels in one classroom. And she does it seamlessly. She provides the instruction, and she challenges kids. She provides remediation as necessary. And the kids, they do exist within the same classroom. And there's very much a little separation, because she knows how to align the curriculum content so that every child gets what they need. And she does it with such, with great effort, because it takes a lot of time to prepare, and she's super organized. So I think those 2 particular skill sets, they definitely support her in doing such a dynamic job every day.
How do you choose to give back to your community? And when I'm referencing community, I'm not only talking about the community at Lawnwood, but the larger community as well.
I choose to help my community. One of the ways is through my church organization, just helping with outreach there. And then through the school organization, and then there's also some nonprofits that we privately contribute to. I like to be more in the shadow, not out in the spotlight, if you will.
Well, guess what? You're in the spotlight right now. It's on you.
Yes.
But that's typical for teachers to be involved in many aspects of the campus, but also in the community and through different organizations, churches, and things like that. So, Ms. Nixon, because of that, what do we see Ms. Uli involved in that makes Lawnwood the school that it is?
So definitely, Selena is what I call a pathfinder. She is out there blazing a trail. She's a pioneer. She's willing to take on new tasks, new challenges, anything that will improve the overall school environment. She is there for it. And she's a leader. She is that pathfinder. She will try different things. She will take a risk, and she will learn about, new technology tools, and then she'll come back and share her learning with everyone. And we depend on her to do that. So and she's super resourceful and so helpful. Selena is a very helpful teacher. She cares about the team. not only does she want to shine, but she doesn't shine unless, in her mind, she doesn't shine unless everyone within that team, within that school-wide community is shining. So when you think about all that she's involved in, first of all, she's our parent involvement leader. So every family night, she is there coordinating behind the scenes to make it happen. We had our Hispanic Heritage Night, she organized that. We had our night at Big Apple Pizza, she organized that. And she organizes also parent events to educate the parents on how to access their kids' information within Skyward. So she does a lot for the overall school environment, for our families, and even for our teachers to make sure that Longwood is a premier school.
So because you do so much with parents, what is it that you say to parents to help them ensure the success of their children?
I think it's because I come to their level and I speak to them mom to mom, mom to dad, and I tell them, my students, my children, my girls went to Longwood. I remember them having a difficulty with this, and as a parent, this is the road that I took to try and help, or just coming down to their level and reasoning with them, and just being honestly just transparent with them. And asking them, what else, how else can I help you? You know, do you understand this strategy? If not, let's try it another way. And just really trying to be there for both the parent and the child, just to ensure that they're both successful in that learning.
So Mrs. Nixon, 3 adjectives, and tell us why you're choosing those 3 that describe the fantastic Selena Uli.
Well, she's definitely helpful. And she's helpful with her students, her families, the teachers. If she doesn't know how to do something, just give her a day or 2, because she's coming back. She's going to go and find the answer to that question. She's very helpful. She's super passionate about her students and their growth and them mastering grade level content. So passionate definitely would be an adjective. And she, within that passion, you will see her supporting kids wherever they are within their growth continuum to make sure that they are reaching the next level. It doesn't matter if they're reading above level, she's going to continue to take them to higher levels within that grade band. And I would also say that she's super resourceful, because she will find a way, she will find the resources, she will find the materials to ensure that her team, as a team leader, that they have what they need so that they can support their students. And she also works with other teams and departments to ensure that within the K-5 structure at Longwood, that all of our students are achieving and mastering content. So I think those would be the 3 adjectives that I would use to describe her.
One other question for you, Ms. Nixon. What makes Ms. Uli the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Okay, so for Teacher of the Year, I tend to think of those who are, number one, that they have a deep understanding of content and instructional delivery and how that impacts student learning. Selena demonstrates that every day. In her classroom, you will see a data wall, and her kids know where they are in regards to their number of reading minutes, how many points do they need for their reading goal. They understand the difference between their stretch goal and their growth goal. They know their I-ready scores, and they know what they need for their next tier when it comes to the progress monitoring. She makes it relevant to the student. So when I think of Teacher of the Year, number one, I think of how they impact their students. And then number 2, I tend to think of Teacher of the Year as to how they impact the overall success of that school. And Selena does that. She makes an impact within her classroom and with her within her students and her families. But at parent pickup, she's out there working. at parent pickup, she's out there passing out flyers. She understands that her actions support the overall school, and it's very personal to her. It's a very personal journey. Selena attended St. Lucie County Schools, and she understands the importance of home, and St. Lucie County is home for her. And so when going back to your original question, when I think about her as the Teacher of the Year, her impact within her classroom, within the teachers, within the parent body, and the overall school success. I mean, we have kids that are in 5th grade who request to be in her tutoring group because that's the type of leader, school leader she is. And the students of Longwood Elementary, they know Miss Uli, and they recognize her as someone who cares. And when she mentioned those hugs, she's for real about that.
So what school did you graduate from in St. Lucie County?
You were my music teacher, Westwood.
Once a Panther?
Always a Panther.
Yes. So, as the Teacher of the Year, you are the ambassador for Lawnwood Elementary. You're already out there with parents. You may have an opportunity to share with the superintendent. What would your message be?
Become a lifelong learner and know that success is a journey. It's not a destination. And that you can't embark on that journey alone. That you have to take people with you. That you have to make sure that you grow people with you so that the world becomes a better place in the end.
Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you both for joining us today. Congratulations again on your selection as the Teacher of the Year for Lawnwood Elementary School. And we look forward to much more success from both of you at Lawnwood. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. So some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales, y yo soy St. Lucie Public Schools.
Please help us welcome to our show at this time the dynamic Miss Carmela Enamorado, who is the fantastic Teacher of the Year over at Palm Point KA School. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
She's brought along our very good friend, Miss Kathleen Perez, who's the proud principal there. Miss Perez, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Again, we are so excited to have an opportunity to share some of the fantastic teachers with our viewing audience. Please introduce yourself briefly to them.
Well, Dr. Perry, I have been a teacher in St. Lucie County for over 14 years. My family resided here in St. Lucie County over 30 years ago, so I am truly a product of St. Lucie County here. I went through all grade school, started at Bayshore Elementary, worked my way up, graduated from Centennial High School, go Eagles. From there, I obtained my associate's degree at IRSC and then transferred over to Florida Atlantic University. And then I landed my first job back at Windmill Point Elementary. So I went to Bayshore from K to 2 and then went to Windmill Point. So it was an honor to go back and have my first teaching job there. And then landed my job over at Palm Point with Kathleen Perez. And for the past 10 years now, and I've been an instructional coach for the past 7. So
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Perez, would you briefly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I am Kathleen Perez, the proud principal of Palm Point. I moved to St. Lucie County in 1989, and this is my 33rd year in education, all in St. Lucie County. I spent the first 19 years of my career in the classroom in both elementary and middle school settings at a variety of different schools throughout the county. In the last 14 years, I've been an administrator at Palm Point, 6 of those as one of the assistant principals, and the honor of, this is my 8th year as principal of Palm Point. And I'm very, very proud that I've spent my entire career in St. Lucie County.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Sure does.
So, with the excitement, tell me, how does it feel to be the representative for the Palm Point Educational Research School as their Teacher of the Year?
An amazing feeling. It has been an overwhelming experience. I remember when they called me on my radio, Half Point, come see me at the mural. And when I opened those doors and was told that I just cannot be more thankful and blessed for this honor and to represent not only our school, but the district and the community as well.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
Dr. Perry, absolutely. I have to say that ever since I was a little girl, I was 8 years old, and I converted my bedroom, my childhood bedroom, into a classroom. So I knew then, my family knew then, that I was just born to be a teacher, educate, and give back to the community in so many ways.
When you think back at the teacher, since you've always known that you were playing school in your bedroom, is there someone that influenced you to become an educator or influences your practices every day?
Yes. I have to say that this is a personal question for me, Dr. Perry, and I'm trying not to be overly joyed sharing emotion about this question, because I have to say that since kindergarten and all through my school, and even now as an adult, I was faced with so many influential people, whether it was my teachers and also principals that believed in me. And one that really does stick out, and I have to say that we have a 27-year relationship to this day, and shared a lot of moments of life experiences together, not only of her being my educator, but it was Miss Giesing. She was my 3rd and 4th grade teacher. She looped me over at Windmill Point Elementary, and she was just that nurturing, caring individual that I wanted to be just like her one day, and she taught me everything I know as a teacher and coach today. She really gave me the opportunity to, I stayed after school with her. I learned how to do bulletin boards. I learned how to use the copier machine. It was just truly the best experience ever.
So, Ms. Perez, you have the opportunity to watch Ms. Enamorado work with students and teachers every day. Share some of that experience with us.
Well, she is, I would call Carmela my go-to person. She is involved in all aspects of the school. She has built, one of the strongest parts of her is the connections that she creates. Because she's a member of this community and grew up here, she has strong connections with her teachers that she supports, with our staff, and with our students and their families. And that's one of the strongest parts of what she does for our school. She's really kind of like the face of our school. Everyone knows Miss I, okay? Not only is that an important part, she is a strong instructional leader in our school. She's a member of our leadership team. She's, of course, our K-2 instructional coach. She is a member of faculty council, SAC, my leadership team. She's affectionately known by all our littles at school as the lunch principal, because she does single-handedly maintain and control our kindergarten through 2nd grade lunch on a daily basis. She does the car line at the end of the day. I mean, there's not a thing within our school that she doesn't jump in with passion, with enthusiasm. I know if I need somebody to take care of something, she's going to take care of it. She's our unofficial school photographer. She organizes school-wide events for both staff, our family engagement events. She's a part of all of that, on top of course, being a fabulous instructional coach, where she's part of collaborative planning, professional learning. She facilitates professional learning for both her K-2 teachers and for the entire school. I mean, there's not anything she's not a part of.
So describe her for me, please, using 3 adjectives, and briefly tell me why those 3.
I know, I really had to think. So I think passionate, because everything she does with passion. She does it because she has a true love of what it is that she's doing. Focused. She has an awful lot going on in her life, professionally, personally. She's got other endeavors, and she handles it all by maintaining focus in what she does. So I'd say passion, focus, and I think that third one was driven. We talked about these ahead of time. I said, what are we going to be in year 3? Because I really have an awful lot of adjectives for Ms. Innamorato, and they're all wonderful. But she is driven because she has this relentless commitment to helping to improve instruction, which overall improves student achievement. And she's just there. She's supportive of our teachers. They feel comfortable with her. And you have to have that with a teacher in order to have a coach come into that classroom. So I think those would be the 3.
So Ms. Innamorato, what would you say has been your proudest professional achievement?
My proudest professional achievement would be, of course, getting this honor to be Teacher of the Year for Palm Point, and also always looking to grow and learn and give back to others. So I had the opportunity these past 2 years to present at a state level conference for educators, and I feel like that is one of my proudest moments.
So as the Teacher of the Year, you automatically become the ambassador for Palm Point. Had an opportunity to speak to parents, to lawmakers, what would your message be?
My message would be to just invest in our children today. With all the different changes that are happening in society, it's so important that we are the role models that you invest in, to make sure that we are finding those talents and encouraging our students to be the most well-grounded individuals that they could possibly be. So I think through investment of not only our students and the community and our family, but investing in us as well, to do that would really just make a huge impact.
So we've talked a lot about the professional, so let's get a little personal with Ms. Carmela Innamorato. Speed round. I'm going to call some favorites, and you give us your response. Favorite food?
Favorite Italian, all the way.
No. Favorite restaurant?
Oh, although Cheesecake Factory is my favorite.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie has got to be The Notebook. Into the love stories.
The love. Take me away. Favorite sports team?
Dallas Cowboys. Grew up in a Dallas Cowboy. America's team.
Okay. Favorite song?
Favorite song, Making It by David Naughton. It's very oldie.
Okay. Favorite quote?
Favorite quote, the one I always say every single day to everyone is just be you, because there's no one else that could be and everyone else is taken. So embrace who you are and be you every single day.
So Ms. Perez, what makes Ms. Innamorato the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Well, in order to be, first of all, she's most deserving of this, but in order to be an instructional coach, you have to be a master teacher, and that is who she is. She was a fabulous kindergarten and 3rd grade teacher at Palm Point, but she has that perfect balance in order to be a successful coach and to help and to support. She has that balance of being able to build those relationships and connections and build trust with her teachers. She has an extensive background in pedagogy and instructional practice, and she has that ability to go into a classroom and to be welcomed into a classroom and to be able to support and help. Think of everything that's changed in kindergarten through 2nd grade. She's helped to support this team with new curriculum resources, new standards, new routines and programs, and most of all, new progress monitoring. There's a wealth of data that is available now to K-2, and she's been that leader and that coach with her kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers through this entire process. The last thing that I think has really been instrumental at our school that she really has spearheaded is she does help oversee our MTSS process at the school. And she, with all this new data, she's using that data, she's implemented watch groups as like a layer of instruction within our MTSS process. And it's kids identifying, like especially in kindergarten, those foundational gaps before they become a need for tier 2 or tier 3. So we've created additional groups in order to have that preventative, you know, to prevent them to move on to tier 2 and tier 3. And she spearheaded that alone. And as a result, we have less students that are actual and official tier 2 and tier 3 groups moving forward. She's just really most deserving. She's had a huge impact on our school, staff, students, and the school as a whole.
So, Ms. Enamorado, we ask you to bring a prop, and that prop should describe you personally, professionally, as an educator, and or support your work. So share with us your prop.
So I brought my lovely camera, Dr. Perry, and it goes back all the way to high school when I had a black room and found my other passion and talent that I can offer and serve the community with is this lovely old 1970, 80, you know, camera, full manual camera. And I say this because I wanted to start out by saying that in my world, Dr. Perry, there are so many stars in the sky for everyone to shine bright, whether it's me educating students, mentoring educators, or even capturing the lifelong cherished moments through the lens of my camera. And I personally view life just like a camera. I focus on the most important and cherished moments that could possibly take place in our lives every single day. Embrace those moments, embrace the opportunities, and then I always say to myself that we could develop from the negatives. We could learn from our mistakes. We could reflect and become better the next day, no matter what. And I know that when things just don't go right, we take a simple left and we try again. We take another shot the next day. So this is personal to me because not only did I find the passion of being an educator through St. Lucie County and School District, like I said, so many influential educators and principals, like I said, and amazing role models in my life. But I found another talent that I have is photography, and I'm able to give back to the community and serve so many families and students that had me as their teacher, that I'm now capturing these moments in their lives that are having babies and engagements and all of that through my photography business.
No, taking another shot, developing from the negative. I got them all. I got all of the references. But thank you so much for capturing the moments of the lives of the students at Palm Point. Thank you for the work that you do. Ms. Perez, thank you for joining us. And again, congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Dr. Perry.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving. And this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
It's our pleasure to welcome to the show at this time the wonderful Miss Charity Burns, who is the Teacher of the Year over at Del Casson Educational Complex. Ms. Burns, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
She's brought along with her the awesome principal there, Mr. Gerald Early. welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It is a pleasure for us to do this show every year because it gives us an opportunity to talk with some of the brightest and best educators in our district. We know that they represent the brightest and the best. But just because some of our viewers may not know who the wonderful Charity Burns is, would you please briefly introduce us? Give us a little of your background.
Well, first I come from a line of educators. That's the number one thing and the reason why I'm in this field. I'm just a simple girl that's a native to Fort Pierce. I love to travel, meet new people, meet new faces, and just enjoy life.
Well, since you didn't say it, I'm going to make you say it. What high school did you graduate from?
Oh, yes. I went to Westwood High School. I graduated from there. Then from there, I went to get my AS from Indian River State College. I went to Liberty University for my bachelor's degree. And I am also one class away from completing my master's degree, and I'm at Southern New Hampshire University.
And once a Panther?
Always
a Panther. That's right, that's right. Mr. Early, would you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, I'm Jerry Early. This is my 10th year with the district. I'm a third-year educator. I started at this district at Port St. Lucie High School 7.5 years ago, and then I was fortunate to earn the job of principal at Dale Cassens for the last 2.5 years.
Awesome, awesome. Well, as you can tell, I get excited about this show because I was in your spot many moons ago. But tell me, how does it feel? How is it representing Dale Cassens as their Teacher of the Year?
It is still unbelievable. I'm still trying to take in the moment. It's a wonderful honor. It's a privilege to have been chosen to represent our school. It's an incredible honor.
So you told us that you come from a long line of educators. Any of those persons influence you and your work as an educator now?
Absolutely. So the journey of education for the Burns family started with my grandmother, and she was an educator for 40 years until her retirement. Then she was on her way for a PhD, but she stopped 3 credits so she could pay for my father to go through school so he can become an educator. And now it is me. I'm finishing, the torch and carrying the torch on of being an educator. So they are definitely have been a big influential part in my life with being in education.
What's your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching, I must say, is the response. It's the response of seeing the light bulbs go off in the kids' eyes. The response of, like with my job, I have the liberty to not only because the MAP program is something that is specially created. So I have the liberty of teaching them history as well as teaching freshman seminar because I believe in educating the whole child. Because it's one thing to have book knowledge, but if you don't know how to properly speak, what good is that? So I really enjoy the response of seeing them go into the real world and seeing the things that I've taught them and the application that they are putting in their life.
What makes you a good teacher, Ms. Burns?
What makes me a good teacher is one simple thing. I care. I care, and I believe in building relationships with kids because I can go in the classroom and just teach, but if I don't have a connection with the kids, they won't learn. I have to involve them, and involving them comes through building relationship with them, getting to know the child. How can I help you? So that's one thing that makes me a good teacher.
So, Mr. Early, you see Ms. Burns at work every day. Tell us what it's like to be in her classroom.
I think she described it. I think it's one where you see the connectedness, you see the relationships, you hear laughter, you hear communication, but you see someone that believes that all kids are capable of learning, and you see teaching and learning happening in these classrooms.
Describe her for me using 3 adjectives and tell me why you've chosen those adjectives.
Infectious. It's hard to not just listen to this interview and see the personality that comes out. Enthusiastic. I would like to say engaging and dependable. I snuck one in.
Yeah, you did. I'll let you.
The engagement is the thing that you see, but that also comes with that coming to school each and every day, being dependable, being that consistent thing for her kids, and she's there every day doing exactly what she just said she did.
So, Ms. Burns, when did you first fall in love with teaching?
I first fell in love with teaching after I completed my first year at Dale Cassens, and I was in Publix, and I saw one of the children that gave me a hard time. And when I saw him, he was like, "Miss Burns," he yelled so loud, he scared me. He yelled, "Miss Burns, you remember me?" I said, "How could I forget you? How could I forget?" And he said, "You know what? You remember the lesson that you taught in freshman seminar about how to connect with people." And he said, "I used those strategies and those techniques, and that's how I got this job." And at that moment, it was like, yes, this is why I do what I do. So I love it. I love it.
What do you think is one of the most pressing educational issues today?
You have to have the willingness to want to do it. You have to go, you got to start each day. I know Mr. Early talks about the story of the goldfish. You have to, especially working at Del Castins, you have to start each day with a forgiving and a clear mind and heart. And when you have people that are there, not just because it's an occupation, but you're there because that's something that you love to do, it makes the world of a difference.
How do you use music in your classroom with your students?
Well, as you know, I'm a singer.
Yes, 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 yes.
And I do like to sing different lessons to them.
Mm-hmm.
I have different projects where they can create a song or a rap, because I know music is something very influential with the kids of these days. And I try to find ways to reach them, and music is one of those ways.
I had to sneak that one in first. So let's play a speed round, okay?
Okay.
I'll give you a favorite and ask for you to respond to that. Okay. So let's start with favorite food.
Ooh, definitely Chinese.
Oh, okay. Favorite restaurant?
Longhorn.
Okay, okay. Favorite movie?
The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Oh, good movie. Sports team?
Now, I'm not really a sports fan, but it'll definitely have to be the Chiefs. I've been rooting for them since I was like 10.
Okay, 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 okay. Favorite song?
My favorite song is Waymaker by Maverick City.
Okay.
Their version.
Oh, they're out there. Yeah.
Yes.
I love Maverick City. Very contemporary. Favorite quote?
My favorite quote will be by Benjamin Franklin. He did it in 1779. And that's actually something that I have in my box that reminds me, if you tell a child, basically, they'll forget. If you teach them, they'll remember. But if you involve them, that's when you go into the realms of learning.
Awesome. Mr. Early, what makes Ms. Burns the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I think all of the candidates, would probably be good candidates. But what makes her different, I'm going to disagree with one of the responses that she gave on when she fell in love with teaching. She's been a teacher since she could talk. Mm-hmm. She's been a teacher since she could teach the dolls, the kids in the neighborhood, anybody that she could. I can just see her as a child grading papers, because there's something about this young lady that she is a teacher, and that's what makes her special. She's been teaching since she could talk.
Ms. Burns, as the Teacher of the Year for Del Castins, you automatically become their representative, their voice, their ambassador. Having an opportunity to share with parents or any of our community members, what would be your message?
Every child is capable of success, no matter their background, no matter where they come from. It just takes a caring adult to dig and pull that out of the child. So, especially working at Del Castins, we're the school of second opportunities. A better comeback, a greater comeback.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be my message for Del Castins.
And everybody needs another opportunity.
Yes, everybody deserves one.
So we've asked you to bring along a prop that kind of describes you as a person, as an educator, and supports your work. Share with us your box.
Okay, so I definitely have my keepsake here. So in here is a set of pearls that my grandmother bought for herself when she retired. And pearls was a big thing for her. She was AKA, so yes, pearls was definitely a big thing for her. And she always talks about how pearls is something that she always wanted as an educator, especially coming from Dade County and things like that. This also is the next thing that she wore every day to work, an apple. And she wore this proudly every day to work. Fighting through a lot of things, knowing her background and where she came from, not having a lot, coming from poverty, having to fight and, provide for herself. Education was the key, and education was the way out. And I look at her life, and I see her legacy that she has given our family. And I feel like it's important you know, because I was saying before coming on here, she didn't complete the doctorate degree because she was trying to push my father through. So that's one of the things that she has, you know, for my life. And she's still with us at 88 years old. She wants me to finish, you know, the torch and continue until I get the PhD.
All righty. Mr. Early, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the wonderful Charity Burns?
All of the staff, including myself, are thrilled that she is our representative this year, and we just wish her the best as we go forward with the process and see where it takes us.
Well, Ms. Burns, I'll tell you that my mom wore pearls every day. My sister carries on the legacy. Even in her warm-up suit, she's wearing some pearls.
Pearls are important.
They are, and she would say the same thing. And we're so excited to have this opportunity to share with both of you. I understand the infectiousness that comes from Ms. Burns and the enthusiasm and the wonderful work that you both are doing at Delcaston. And thank you for sharing with us and our viewers today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
My name is Michael Brown, and welcome to St. Lucie Transportation. We have 325 routes that make up 12,471 bus stops per day. On average, we transport 23,000 students each and every day. We have 25 mechanics responsible for 397 buses in our fleet, and they go in for a 30-point state-required inspection every 28 days. I feel that as a bus driver, my position is a very intricate one in the St. Lucie school system. Without us transporting the majority of the school's populations, our leaders of tomorrow wouldn't have an easy access to their education. I would say the most important aspect of my job is delivering my children to and from school in a safe, timely manner. I want to be a role model for my kids as well. Some of the challenges of my position, being able to drive while maintaining control of my students. I often have upward to 50 to 60 kids, you know, at any given time between routes. I think the most rewarding part is just watching my children grow, you know, into adults. I watch them flourish in life and just knowing that I was a part of it. I'm Michael Brown, and I am St. Lucie Public School.
Please help us welcome to our show at this time Mr. Troy Parkinson, who is the fantastic Teacher of the Year over at Forest Grove Middle School. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
He's brought along with him our wonderful friend, Ms. Keonisha Bobo, who's the proud principal there. Ms. Bobo, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
It is a joy to celebrate with you as we introduce some of the fantastic teachers in St. Lucie Public Schools to our viewing community. And with that, give us a little bit about your background.
I graduated high school back in rural Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ken McMillan Senior High. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Pittsburgh in mathematics, and I got my master's degree from Portland State University in Portland, Oregon. And I've been here in the district. This is my 5th year in a row.
Cool, welcome. Ms. Bobo?
I have been in this district since 2007. I've worked all levels. I started out substituting to see where I wanted to start my career, and it led me to becoming a teacher, a teacher leader, teacher in special assignments, an assistant principal, and a principal. I've worked at about 6 different schools in the district, in all zones, at all levels. And right now I am the proud principal of Forest Grove Middle School with Bulldog Nation.
The proud principal. I did hear you say that. Yes,
very
ma'am.
proud.
So, Mr. Parkinson, how does it feel? What do you make of being chosen as the Teacher of the Year for Forest Grove?
I was very overwhelmed as my voice cracks. Luckily, Miss Person was there to whip me into shape and say no crying. So I immediately thought of that. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. I worked really hard for it, something I was very proud of. But after that brief moment of like, wow, did I really just earn this? It really fueled me to, you know, supercharge for the year, for sure.
So have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
Very difficult question for me. Part yes, but I'm always thinking about other things. But teaching brings me the most gratification, for sure. So When I first had that taste, and I knew I didn't have to really look at my paycheck to feel gratified at work, I knew that education was kind of my path.
With that answer that you just shared with us, what's your favorite part of teaching?
Developing relationships with the students, changing people's perspective of mathematics, learning mathematics, appreciating mathematics, and just communicating with the world through, I mean, we live in a very mathematical world. So that's my favorite part, is the relationships and working very hard to change people's perspectives of math.
When did you fall in love with teaching?
Summer 1995. I just aged myself a little.
It's okay.
I was in between Carnegie Mellon University and the University of Pittsburgh, and I worked for a tutoring program sponsored by the University of Pittsburgh, working with inner city minority high school students in math and sciences. And my very first day, my very first student, his name was Kenny. He was just very thankful. Said that no teacher had ever talked to him that way before. He understood everything. He was an athlete, and he was in this program to get some credits that he needed to be eligible to play basketball the next year. And that summer, his academic career changed for sure.
Awesome, awesome. So, Mr. Bobo, you get to watch the math lessons happen every day. Share us what it is that you see going on.
When you walk into Mr. Parkinson's classroom, it's very different every time. It's very differentiated depending on what the lesson is. You can walk in and there could be groups going on, or the next time you go in, he can be modeling some examples on the board. But one thing I always notice about the kids in his classroom is that they feel very comfortable. They're not afraid to take risks. He does have great relationships with his students, so they are very comfortable even challenging him, like, what's the why behind this? And it's a family environment in his classroom. Like, the kids, they support one another, they support the lessons, and they continue to grow. And I love to see that. And it's never the same. And I really appreciate that, because he really conforms to all learners. You know, you may have someone that has mastered the standard, you may have someone that's still struggling with it, but when he's with that one student, you never know. He's just all hands-on, he believes in them, and they know it. His classroom also is very inviting. He has so many things posted around his classroom. It's just a lot of resources within itself, so the kids really have the autonomy to become not only learners, but teachers as well. And there's a lot of collaboration in his room, a lot, all the time.
So, Mr. Parkinson, what gives you the greatest professional satisfaction?
I would say when former students continue to reach out and interact with me and tell me that I changed their views on whether or not it's education, life, mathematics specifically. That's my favorite part.
What do you see as one of the most pressing issues concerning education today?
I'll speak specifically to math education.
Okay.
I believe that a lot of people that teach mathematics are, I don't want to say forced, but kind of wrangled into specific methods and forms of teaching, and I believe that it could be more effective. I believe that some change could happen, which I make a very concerted effort to implement in my classroom.
So, Ms. Bobo, 3 adjectives that describe the wonderful Troy Parkinson.
He's very reflective. So with his lessons, he's not afraid to take risks, which I love, and energetic. He's very energized in his classroom. It's a lot of energy in there.
And one more?
One more, effective, highly effective. extremely effective.
Okay. Reflective, energetic, I like energy, and effective, making sure that everything gets done that needs to. Tell me, as the Teacher of the Year, you automatically become the ambassador for education at Forest Grove. Had an opportunity to speak with community members, share with even staff members. What's your message?
Don't be afraid to be wrong. There's always this like punishment attached with mistakes and errors, specifically in mathematics. It also translates to life as well, but we'll stick to math. I find that that's where the growth is. You know, some kids get it, some adults get it, but when you don't and you make mistakes, it feels uncomfortable, and we're programmed as human beings to avoid discomfort. So, you know, in that situation, I just think it's really, really important to not afraid to be wrong.
So what makes Mr. Parkinson the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I think he just summed it up really well. He's really reflective and receptive, and it's just not one way. You can't just have things look a certain way or a particular way. You have to, you know, think outside of the box, and he definitely does that. He's always challenging himself and his students, and that's what education has, you know, come to be at this point. There is no status quo. You know, we deal with so many different things, so many diversities, so many challenges, so many opportunities, and we have to be willing and receptive to be in the place to accept that, use them to our students' benefit, and he does that. Even outside of just like we were talking to academics, but the relationships that he has when his kids, you know, leave his classroom and they go to high school. He teaches geometry, he also teaches algebra. So the kids see the excitement of geometry in his classroom. So those kids in algebra work really hard to make sure they have Mr. Parkinson the following year, because they want to be successful and they know that he is a key factor in that success.
Cool.
So I just think that, you know, with him representing our district as Teacher of the Year in our school, he's very accepting of everyone and their differences, and that's what we need, just someone that can really represent the masses.
So one more question, Mr. Parkinson. What's your wish or your prayer for education?
Oh, my wish or my prayer for education? Oh, that's a tough one. I usually know what to say. My wish for education is that, you know, worldwide, I would say that people understand that it's their right as a human being to obtain an education. But I think it's also important that the human being is willing to be educated, no matter what age. So, you know, lifelong learners, that's, you know, one of the cliche taglines we always talk about, but it's true, you know. And it's not just academics, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Ms. Bobo, Mr. Parkinson, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very
for
much.
sharing with us, and congratulations on your selection as a Teacher of the Year at Forest Grove. As I was told, Bulldog Nation, right?
Bulldog Nation.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the San Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. Well, some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales y yo soy San Lucie Public Schools.
privilege for us at this time to welcome to our show Mr. Philip German, who is the fantastic Teacher of the Year at CAST, the Creative Arts Academy of St. Lucie. Welcome, Mr. German.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And he's brought along with him my very dear friend, the proud principal there, Miss Jane Whitaker. Miss Whitaker, welcome.
Great to see you.
Great to see you guys. And it is so great to have this opportunity to speak with Teachers of the Year. We get excited about it. Of course, Miss Whitaker and I have both been in this position, but it also gives us an opportunity just to introduce some of the fantastic teachers that we have here in St. Lucie County to our viewing public. And with that said, Mr. German, would you please briefly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Well, it's almost 15 years now with the education system. I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so I'm a true Floridian. We don't like the cold. So with that, I started in Broward, okay? You know, just different lower level positions inside of the school board. I think my first position was a cafeteria aide, so I, had the responsibility of keeping order in the cafeteria. Then, my principal recognized, hey, wait a minute, this guy looks like he can tutor as well. So it went from keeping order in the cafeteria to tutoring students in between lunch breaks. And that's where I kind of said, you know what, I got to make this happen for myself. Got the bug. Right, yeah, I have to make this happen for myself. So in addition to working for the school board in different positions, I attended college. I got my bachelor's degree, and after that, it was so long retail. And I had my first experience in Broward as well as a full-time 5th grade teacher at Broward Estates Elementary. And I did 2 years there, and then I progressed to charter public for the remainder of my career before I actually took the move up to beautiful Fort Pierce, St. Lucie County. And I met Mrs. Whitaker, obviously during an interview. I guess it went well because I'm here. I guess it went well because I'm here, but I came and I didn't start in the beginning of the year, so that had some of its challenges, but with, of course, the support systems that she keeps in place, I was able to complete, I'm completing 2 years now here in St. Lucie County.
Great, great. Ms. Whitaker, just a little bit about you. I'm sure all of our viewers know Jane Whitaker.
Well, I don't know about that. I actually started my career here in St. Lucie County in '98 as an elementary music teacher, and I was there until 2013 and headed over to the district and served in the Office of Teaching and Learning for a few years, for 6 years in curriculum and talent development. And I also had a chance to work with the Magnet School Assistant Grant for a few years. And then headed to Mariposa Elementary, where I was the principal there for the 21-22 school year, and then moved over to CAST, where it's very near and dear to my heart as a music teacher, and both of us, we're both musicians, so it just kind of comes together.
Try not to smile too much.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of my second year at CAST and loving every minute of it.
So, Mr. German, how does it feel? What do you make of being chosen as the Teacher of the Year for CAST?
Well, it was definitely a shock. Then it kind of moved a little bit more towards appreciation, because it's like, here is this guy, not 2 years in, and the staff has already nominated me for Teacher of the Year. So, that comes with its I'm deeply appreciated to be here. And I know it's not an easy task because we're still in the middle of this, change for the different curriculum. We have the benchmarks, we have different curriculums that we adopted. So I know it's tough on everybody right now, right? So it was definitely a challenge, but I am so ecstatic that my peers actually nominated me for this esteemed position 2 years in.
So when did you first fall in love with teaching?
So I fell in love with teaching, and hopefully this is not a cliche answer, but I fell in love with teaching when you see that spark. When that light bulb goes on, that kid who's been struggling, and then, as a teacher, you're a researcher as well. So, okay, the kid doesn't get it this way, then we got to research to find another way and another way. But then when this kid actually gets it, so I do it for the spark. I do it for, when they finally get a concept, that gives me the great pleasure of being a teacher.
Is there someone that you think has influenced how you behave in the classroom?
Yes. Well, working for over a decade, you have many influencers actually, some good and some not so. You know, and I thought as a teacher I would be drill sergeant, right? Get in that classroom, let's, you know, no talking, let's do this, you know, all of that other good stuff. Because I started off at a needs improvement school, and I'm just looking at the behaviors, and I'm looking at the teachers, and this is how I should act. But then, and I'm not sure if you know him, but he's a teacher, a religious teacher. His name is Pastor Paul, and he teaches at Calvary Chapel, Ontario. And with that, he allowed me to see more so principles to govern your life, you know? And I decided to, not religious of course, but just to take basic human principles and to instill it into the children versus you do this and you do that. I want the intrinsic reward instead of the, you know, do it because I say so kind of thing. So with experiencing different principle-based teaching, I was able to mold both a behavior plan and an academic instructional delivery plan that has the kids wanting to do it, wanting to achieve. For another example, Mrs. Whitaker is huge on goal setting. You know, that's what we're all about, Cass. Goal setting. So that's another intrinsic versus just do because I tell you to do, you know? And even the standards, the new standards that we adopted, I'm so ecstatic on the route that standards are going. They're going in the correct direction. They have kids to justify their answers as well. And that's what we like for them to do both on a behavioral, social level and on an academic level. Justify, analyze, you know, let's look at the situation, let's look at the context, make the correct decision, and then be able to go backtrack and justify your response as well.
So what do you see as one of the most pressing educational issues today?
Whew, definitely staffing. I think that's nationwide, dare I say global, but let's just stick with the United States, of course. But nationwide, definitely staffing. And the reason why I say staffing, because, you know, even though I believe that the adoption of the new standards are heading in the right direction, okay, it's how do we make teaching more appealing to the newcomers, to the others. You got people retiring, you have people, candidates in college, well, can I really do this, kind of thing. So how do you make this position more appealing?
So what would you say to a new teacher or to inspire someone to teach?
Do it because for the love of learning. Okay? Do it for the love of learning. Do it, consider it as your service to your country. Helping mold children that are our futures, that will one day go out there and govern and teach and take a part in STEM and things of that nature. So I would just say, you know, have your support systems in place, have your administrator support systems in place, and depend on your colleagues. But there's going to be some good days, and there's going to be some not so good days, as we all know. But if you stick with it because love of learning, you know, I would definitely advise a potential candidate.
So, Ms. Whitaker, you get to view working with Mr. German every day. What happens in his classroom? Share with us some of those things that you see.
His classroom really is magical. That's the best way to really explain it. And when you come into his room, it is an engaging environment. The kids love being in there. He teaches like I don't know how else to say it. He teaches like his hair's on fire. I mean, he is so excited about whatever it is he's teaching. I could walk in during math and he's teaching with the same enthusiasm in math as he is science, as he is reading. He is about his kids. He is very focused on the needs of every single kid individually. And you talk about somebody that knows his children, knows their strengths, knows their areas that they need to grow, focuses on them as young people, you know, not just as a student, but, you know, really lifting them up to be better people. And it's always fun when you get a chance to walk into his classroom, because you never know the surprise that you're going to get to experience, because he's always coming up with these cool experiments in science that the kids are working on, and they've got their lab coats on. He teaches science in a lab coat, and so do the kids learn in their lab coats. It's great. But just truly magical and inspiring when you get to see him at work. It's amazing.
So describe Mr. German for me using 3 adjectives and tell me why quickly.
3. Just 3?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first one I would say is relational. He, like I said, just his relationships with the students and the staff just is remarkable, and his success is built around that. You know, we all know the importance of the relationship piece, that they'll work for anybody who loves them and that they know cares about them. That would be my first one. Inspiring. Just he's an inspiration not just to the students, but to the people around him, and sometimes his humbleness, that's not one of my adjectives, but his humility, sometimes I don't know that he realizes how much the other staff are watching, and it just his teaching and his impact of what he makes on our staff every day. And then the other one I would say is a difference maker. He makes a difference in our school each and every day, and our staff and students alike.
What do you say to parents to help them ensure that their students will be successful in your class?
Oh, well, my motto has always, well, it's been molded to be happy children learn more, okay? So with that, first of all, I have to support you and Dr. Prince on your attendance initiative. Show up, right? The first step is show up. I believe Mrs. Whitaker can attest to my perfect attendance. But nevertheless, it's bring your kids to school, right? But it's not just bring your kids to school, it's how you bring them to school. So make sure they're fed, make sure they're, that home is set up to be conducive for learning as well. Partner with the teacher, So my deal is this: if I can make engaging activities in the classroom, at home, if I send you an email, if I call you, or whatever the case may be, hey, this is what little Johnny needs to kind of work on to reach this particular benchmark, work with me, work together with me. And definitely I will ensure that I give your child countless opportunities for success and not for failure.
So let's play a speed round. We talked a lot about on the professional side. Let's go to personal side. Okay. Favorite food?
Oh, it has always been spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, favorite restaurant?
Listen, it's not even an Italian restaurant. My kids know I'm sorry, it's a restaurant chain per se, and it Panda Express. I'm so sorry. I love the orange chicken and fried rice.
Favorite movie?
Little Shops of Horrors. I know every song, every.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's good. It's good. Favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? As a native Floridian, I am obligated to say Miami Heat.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? It was very difficult to decide that answer because I'm so eclectic. So I dabble in classical, I dabble in rock, I dabble in R&B. But if I had to choose,
you have to choose.
If I had to choose, it would definitely be "Lean on Me." That particular song ties in not as my favorite movie, but my most inspirational movie. To see this principle, I'm pretty sure you're aware of.
Very much
Lean
so.
on Me, then that's probably been some others' answers, but it was so inspiring to see this principal come into this needs improvement school and just change it radically. Now, will I employ some of his methods? Absolutely not, but that was a huge inspirational piece for me.
Favorite quote?
Favorite quote, do unto others as you wish others, as you want others to do unto you.
So, Ms. Whitaker, what makes Mr. German the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
His ability to adapt and build those relationships regardless of age. As a Teacher of the Year, you're put in scenarios. Working with district people, state people, et cetera. And, you know, just his ability, again, we go back to that relationship piece that's such a strength of his, that has a lot to do. You have to have those strong relationship pieces, you know, to relate the amazing things that you do and to be able to share that as a role model. And, you know, he is a role model to his peers, and to have other people in our district, but we're not stopping just at district, we're going to state. But, you know, with that level, you know, being able to share your successes with others, and to be able to share those successes well, and to be that person that is going to make a difference, not just locally, but could make a difference, you know, within the state. And he has that ability to do that.
So, Mr. German, we ask you to bring a prop, and we want you to share that prop with us and briefly tell us how it describes you and your work as a teacher or supports your work. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, here is the prop here. As I was contemplating the best route to go here, you know, you maybe want to bring something old, something traditional, maybe something meaningful for the family. However, one of my students actually gifted me this year, before winter break, this golden pencil sharpener, okay? So it has meaning, this golden pencil sharpener. And this is a symbol of knowing your students and your students knowing you. As Mrs. Whitaker alluded to, I'm huge on relationships between students and teacher. And, you know, many times we as teachers receive these certain students who, you know, may score low, behavior may need a little adjusting, but for the right teacher, they will perform what is needed. And so I teach in a way to make sure all of my students' individualities come into play, even when I plan different activities. So this is a symbol of my students knowing me, because I am not afraid. If I make a mistake, hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm not afraid to be that teacher to apologize. If I chastise you, for lack of a better word, if I correct you openly, I should be able to apologize openly. So we get to learn a lot about each other. So my students know that I like golden things.
Shiny things.
Yes, even when we do well on district tests, I'm coming in with the gold chain and just sparkling and shining. Hey, our scores are shining today, right? So they know I like gold, okay? So therefore she chose the picture. And they also know, and I don't know how much this is going to play on your emotions, but she also wrapped it in a dog wrapping paper. And they know I do not care for dogs whatsoever. So they know my fears, they know my, you know, so basically as a joke kind of thing, like, hey, Mr. German, I'm going to give you this for the class, but now I'm going to wrap it in something that we know you don't care for, you know, as a joke, whatever. So it's not just the fact of, because students can emulate any teacher. Students can imitate any teacher. That's not what this is about. This is about the students knowing what I would appreciate. Not wanting to disappoint, right? You know, if I make a mistake with another teacher or whatever the case may be, I need to be able to quickly correct it before Mr. German finds out, and I need to be able to go to him and talk to him about what mistake that I made or what infraction I did, so that, you know, we can work it out from them. So from there. So with that being said, they know I like the flashy, and they know we put that pencil to the paper. You know, there's no, you know, and they also know what I would appreciate and things of that nature. So relationship, if I give any advice to any teacher, it's get to know your students and allow your students to know you.
Thank you for sharing with us, Mr. German, Ms. Whitaker. Thank you for sharing with us, and congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year at the Creative Arts Academy of St. Lucie, better known as CAST.
Thanks.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving, and this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
We're excited at this time to welcome to the show Miss Lucie Cuthbert, who is the fantastic Teacher of the Year over at Francis K. Sweet Elementary School. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
She's brought along with her Miss Makita Brome, who is the dynamic principal at Francis K. Sweet. Miss Brome, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
It is so exciting for us to be here, to have this opportunity to speak with you. What this show does is allow us the opportunity to introduce some of the fantastic teachers that we have in the district working with the students here, because we know that they just represent the best of the best. So many more teachers like them, but this gives a bird's eye view, if you would, to our public. So with that being said, briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
So my name is Lucie Cuthbert. I am first and foremost a Christian, and I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3 kids and 1 on the way. I was born in Bluefields, Nicaragua. I was raised in Miami, and I am a graduate of Florida International University. I graduated there with my bachelor's in education, early childhood education. I have been teaching for approximately 13 years, and I have taught from preschool to elementary school. I currently teach at Francis K. Sweet as a 3rd grade reading teacher, but I have taught in the past couple of years since I've moved up here to Port St. Lucie. I've taught all subjects.
Ms. Brome, same thing, please.
Makita Brome, proud principal of Francis K. Sweet.
Proud principal.
Proud principal of Francis K. Sweet Elementary. This is my 14th year in education, all in St. Lucie Public Schools. So started off as a teacher at Lincoln Park Academy, math instructional coach at Fort Pierce Westwood, assistant principal at Fort Pierce Westwood and C.A. Moore. And now, like I said, proud principal at Francis K. Sweet Elementary. I am St. Lucie born and bred as an educator, and I really enjoy my job and what I do.
So, Ms. Cuthbert, how does it feel, and how do you take being chosen as the Teacher of the Year for Francis K. Sweet? I'm
very honored to be chosen as the Teacher of the Year. It is the only elementary school that I've taught at since I've been in Port St. Lucie. I love it. Like I said, I feel very honored. I do work very hard, and it is always appreciated when your colleagues, your administrators appreciate you and express that appreciation in such a way. So I'm very honored.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
Yes. I have always known I wanted to be a teacher.
So is there someone that influenced that decision or influences the way that you work with students today?
My mom first. My mom. Because we came here from Central America, when we moved here, we didn't have much, and I saw her take into caregiving with family, relatives, and friends, children, and I can remember her teaching them and helping them to grow. Just nurturing them and having so much patience with them. And another person was my kindergarten teacher. She was very kind, very sweet, very patient as well. And she taught me a lot about just caring. She was a very caring person.
So there are many things happening in our community, in our educational community. What do you see as one of the most pressing issues facing education today?
In education, one of the issues that I would think is an issue is not enough teachers. That's one thing. And teaching is such a beautiful thing. You have the ability to watch a child grow. You know, you're just able to watch someone bloom. You have the ability to inspire that child to be something great, someone great in society, and give back to the community.
So, Ms. Brown, you have the opportunity to visit classrooms every day. Share with us what it is when you go to this third grade classroom.
Miss Cuthbert, she talked about her mom being caring and seeing her as a caregiver. When you walk into her class, you know it's an atmosphere of caring. Students know that she cares about them and she wants the best for them. She has high expectations for every single student. It does not matter what their levels are based on an assessment. She is going to push them to be their best and help them be their best, and not just academically, but social emotionally. Like, she is what this building kids' character. So as you watch them learn, they're engaged in the lesson, the kids love her. So you see engagement, but you also see students who know that she has their best interests at heart, and she wants to see them succeed in all facets.
Give us 3 adjectives that would describe Ms. Cuthbert and tell us why you chose those 3.
Oh my goodness. Caring, like I said, you can see it in everything that she does. She is passionate. Like, she learns because she wants kids to learn. She is going to give her all because she cares that much about students, and she knows that this really is her mission. And not really an adjective, but high expectations. She has high expectations for what she does and for what her students do in class, and even of her colleagues. Like, she is like one of those undercover leaders that leads without having to have the title for it. You can see it in her.
So, Ms. Cuthbert, what do you think has been your greatest impact?
Inspiring my students. My greatest impact is watching them want more than what they came in with. From the very beginning of school year, we set goals for each other. We talk about the expectations that they should have for themselves and what they want to see at the end. I talk to them about what I want to see at the end for all of them. And throughout the school year, we look at that progress through assessments, through district tests, through state tests, through even just their character going throughout the school year. As they grow, we build towards things. So I think that's the greatest impact. When I look at them at the end of the school year, I feel so good to see what they have achieved and to just be a part of that.
What do you say to parents to help them help you to ensure the success of their children?
So for this current year, I am reading teacher, and I love it. I've grown to love so much about reading, and one of the things that I've always told parents is read to them, read with them. I've done it with my kids. I do it with my kids. I've been reading with my kids since they were months old, and they've proven to me, besides the statistics and the research, the background about it, being a teacher over time, I've learned how much reading can do for a child at a young age, and it is never too late to pick up a book.
Those who read succeed. I briefly, and I know this is not your interview, but I had a friend to ask me to be the godfather of his child. And I said, only one condition. Promise me that you'll read to her every night. Yes. And at this age, 26 years old, she goes nowhere without a book. She loves language and words. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about professionally. So let's get a little personal, and let's do a speed round. I'll throw some favorites out, and you give me a response, okay? You ready?
Yes.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite restaurant?
Longhorns.
Favorite movie?
Freedom Writers.
English teacher, reading teacher. Yeah, I see that. Favorite sports team?
Oh, I don't have a favorite sports team, but I do have a favorite sports. I like to watch football. When my husband watches it, I'll watch every now and then. But I do like to watch that sport.
Okay, favorite song?
My favorite song is Raise a Hallelujah by Bethel Church.
Down south, Bethel?
Yes.
Okay.
No, well, this is a, they're actually a mega church. I've been to their church in California.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And favorite quote?
I always tell my kids two things. One thing that my kindergarten teacher told me, and I never forgot it, it's weird, not weird, but very inspiring that I still remember it till this day. You never know what you can do until you try. And another quote that I also tell my kids is, if you say you can't, you won't. If you say you can, you will.
Okay. So, Ms. Brown, what makes Ms. Cuthbert the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Her caring. Like, I keep coming back to that. We have other metrics that we measure success by. We have test scores. We have a lot of other things. But if you can't, she impacts kids in a way that's going to change the trajectory of how they think about themselves and how they operate as people and little humans. So her level of care, her level of passion, that is something that you can't be taught. You can teach somebody how to teach a class. You can teach somebody how to take a test. You can't teach someone how to really care for kids in the way that she does, and her level of caring inspires kids to do their best, and they end up doing their best academically because of just who she is and the level of care she has for them.
So, Ms. Cuthbert, we ask you to bring along with you a prop that kind of describes you as a teacher, supports you, the work that you do. Share with us your prop.
It's about two. So this one was the first one that I got 2 years ago from a student, World's Best Teacher. And they both have a little story behind them because they're from my students. This one was from a student that he's very dear to me, and he had a few challenges, like we all do. And we worked through those challenges throughout the school year, and he just grew so much in such a way that I was very touched, because it's like, yes, he's growing, but look what you can do with him and any other child that has these challenges. Doesn't matter what type of challenge it is, whether it is a physical challenge, a mental challenge, or even something going on at home. So both students gave me artifacts to remember them by. This one says, "To a very special teacher." This one was last year. He actually gave it to me at the end of the school year, and he also had a few challenges. And again, we also worked through them. And for actually both students, a lot of the things that we talked about throughout the year was more of self-control, teaching them that you have control over yourself, and no matter what you think, any negative thoughts, that goes through your minds, always replace it with a positive thought. And I've just seen them grow so much, and I keep them in my classroom, and they're very good reminders of what I do and why I do it.
Let's wrap it up. As the Teacher of the Year, you automatically are the ambassador for education at Francis K. Sweet. What's your message?
My message to not just colleagues, but parents and anyone, tell something to a child that is kind. Give kind words so that they can grow from that. We're going to hear a lot of negative things all our lives, and you just might be the one person to impact that one child's life, and they need to hear something kind, because there's so much negative things going on in the world. So,
well, thank you for being that very special teacher and one of the world's best teachers, as your students have already pointed out. Ms. Brown, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your selection as a Teacher of the Year at the wonderful Francis K. Sweet Elementary School. Thank you.
My name is Bobby Ingram Jr., the Director of Bands of Treasure Coast High School. Music is the universal language, so it contributes to St. Lucie Public Schools, because that is some kids' only outlet. Music is a lot of these kids' family. I don't teach a class, I teach life. We learn community in this art. We learn love in this art. We learn the value of family in this art. We learn spirit, unity, discipline, attitude in this art. So that's why it's important. The kids come to school, they come from different environments, so when they come here, they need a place that's structured, a place that is energetic, a place where they can be themselves. So it's super important for me to show up to make sure that they have that atmosphere and they have that place where they can just genuinely be themselves. Sometimes the hardship of home bears the kids down, so it's just really just keeping them encouraged to keep going. My favorite part of the day, honestly, is seeing the kids. Seeing the kids and working with the kids and getting into a piece of music and mastering just a section of music and putting it all together. But even beyond all that is getting to know each and every individual that I'm able to work with. I am Bobby Ingram Jr., and I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
Wow, what an amazing and inspiring group of educators. We applaud these teachers who devote their professional lives to enriching the lives of St. Lucie Public School students. The Teacher of the Year Award is a call to service that comes with a responsibility and obligation to elevate students and the profession. The award isn't about being the best teacher, it's about being chosen to represent the best teacher and the honor of being called to represent such an incredible profession. Thank you to each of these wonderful teachers for being exemplary role models and caring people. We thank them for sharing their knowledge and for showing acceptance, approval, and appreciation. Each day they make a difference and do that something that truly matters. Every day they leave an undeniable mark on the future. Congratulations to each of them.